I see you, little mouse. You don't belong here.
I can't do this just yet.
Run along. Turn back, trespasser. Cease this madness. You tamper with things you do not understand.
Damn you!
Your recklessness will not go unpunished. This is your final warning. Leave, or you force my hand again, little mouse. So be it. You've chosen to side with chaos. This is my world, and you shall obey my order.
My spirit is spent.
Gaze into the abyss. Ultimate chaos.
I can't do this just yet.
Embraced by me. Embraced by me. Gaze into the abyss. Gaze into the abyss. Imperfect!
He's injured, but not for long. We need to get back. Let me help you.
The horror must be stopped. Obstacles destroyed. Embraced by ultimate chaos. Gaze into the abyss.
I can't do this just yet.
Insubstantial.
She's trying to recover. Hurry! Let's find a way back.
Didn't even break a sweat.
Ultimate chaos. These memories are mine. I cannot lose them.
They lied to you, Father. I'm your true memory.
To save the future, the past must be sacrificed. Gaze into the abyss. Embraced by gaze into the abyss.
My spirit is spent.
Embraced by irrelevant.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another PATHofexile video. Today I'm bringing you the last update to the lead Retaliation Gladiator, and took down almost all the Ubers. The only fight I have left to do with this character is Uber Maven, but the fragments at the moment are very expensive, so it's hard for me to justify to just attempt the fight. I could probably do it, but you know, if I farm some tier 17s and I drop the fragments, I will do it, but I will not buy the fragments. And I wanted to put this video out because at this point I want to start moving into playing other characters. So as you may have seen from the showcase, we took down pretty much every single Uber. Some fights were clean, some fights were not clean at all, but some of them is mostly due to my skill with the fights, because I haven't done the Ubers before. Actually, this is the first time I'm doing them, so I think went pretty well, especially Worshaper and Cortex, but weren't too bad. So let's go over the gear real quick. So the axe, I don't know if I showed it in the previous video, but this is just a crafted axe with essence of definitely essence of contempt. You aim for at least a tier 3 hybrid mod, and this one luckily is the highest roll in the tier 3, so it's pretty good for it. then you have to unveil either a prefix or a suffix. If you unveil a prefix, you want to aim for the veil physical damage mod. If you unveil a suffix, then the best you want to get is the physical damage over time multiplier. And yeah, that's it. You could probably still craft this further. I don't know if you can get an additional veil mod. If that's possible, you could do like suffix prefixes cannot be changed and try to get the other veil mod physical damage there, and then you can craft damage over time multiplier if you still have an open suffix, and that will be even better than this. But this one was good enough for all the content that I wanted to do. The gloves, suppression, armor, life, and resistances, pretty much. Armor and evasion, which, you know, we have iron reflexes, it converts to armor. The armor is kind of GG, triple T1 prefixes. It would have been better if it, instead of the hybrid increase, it was the regular increase. It would have been way higher, almost, it could have been like 5k armor total. But, you know, it's pretty good, as good as it gets. Tier 1 suppression, and tier 3 cast rest from essence, and then, you know, a suffix that you can craft whatever. Gloves, same thing, some suppression, life. This one I fixed with Eldritch Chaos, Eldritch Exile, Eldritch Annul, and, you know, you get good suffixes, and then you try to roll the prefixes a little bit, and this one rolled armor evasion, rarity, which is not bad because you get a lot of gold, and then some maximum life. Let me move to the hideouts. Then the boots, I used Storm Shroud here, so the boots gives us all the shock avoidance through this Searing Exarch implicit, which is the grand one, and the avoid being shocked is an essence modifier that you have to divine up to 60% to be able to achieve 100% from the boots. And then I unveiled the movement speed. I wanted the movement speed and gain onslaught on kills, so I can remove these points. It's 4 points that I can save, but sadly I didn't get it. And, you know, at this point, I don't really feel the need to craft gear for this character any further. I think this is what you need, and some chaos rest. This ring I didn't really change anymore during the league. I think I got what I need. The fist damage to attacks, the life, and the elemental resistances. The Calendar's Touch I bought at the very beginning. It was like 9 divines when I bought it, and I know this is the kind of item that tends to go up in price, and then you can just recycle to any of your builds, so that's why it's here. But, you know, don't really think that you need a Calendar's Touch. But if you craft a really good ring, like if I went for like an endurance plus endurance ring, then Calendar's Touch value is pretty much infinite, because, you know, crafting such ring, getting the base of the ring is already expensive. Crafting it's already expensive, so you don't want to do that twice. So you better get Calendar's Touch. But if you're gonna wear like normal rings like these that can go for 1 or 2 divines, maybe it's not worth it. You know, it's whatever. And the amulet is giving me all the intelligence I need, physical damage to attacks. Ideally, you have damage over time multiplier here, but I really needed the attributes. So it is what it is. The physical damage is still a good amount of damage, and no forgiveness still. The shield is very hard to craft. It's very expensive to get something that has a good amount of life, suppress, a resistance, and life gain of block. I think the last one I saw was like 20 divines, and I sold one for like 25. That was just slightly better than this one. The 13 suppression, I need like a tier 1 roll on the shield to be able to cap suppression without the flask. I'm at the moment at 91%, so the flask gives you 10%. That's cap. You could argue that I could get it on the tree, but I'd rather not, because my tree is already really tight, even level 97. So, yep, you get this base, you spam life craft here on harvest until you hit the life on block with a suppression roll, whatever you can get. and then you try to fix the prefixes, which either Veiled, but Veiled Chaos is already quite expensive. It's like 4 divines, I think, at the moment. So yeah, just finish with Crafted Life or something, and yeah, it's very expensive. But this is what I needed to get to the cap. Then for single target, I set up my character defenses in a way that I can just plug and play the Ring of the Accuser. So I'm still capped on all resistances, even Chaos Rest through the ring. So why do I need the Ring of the Accuser? The Hateful Accuser. This gives you the Penance Mark ability. Penance Mark, it's a mark, it's a curse that you put on the enemy. Because it's a mark, it has infinite duration. And what happens is that you hit the enemy, and the enemy will spawn little phantasms. You would have seen that through all of the Uber fights, that there will like these red little monsters that spawn. They hit you, and then you can block from them, and then you can counterattack. This has the extra option that you can leech out of them, and if you're using cruelty instead of awaken unbound, you can get 40% cruelty because they basically have no life. Regarding the links, still the Critical Strike Affliction. You know, I use this for the fights. It looked very good to me, but it might not be the best options. Awaken Unbound made sense because of something I'm gonna talk about in the tree, and the only Awaken level gem level 5 I have is Brutality. Melee is still level 4. And yeah, Volatility I didn't get level 21, but the level 21 Eviscerate was rather cheap, so you know, might as well get it. Then on the passive tree, the changes I made is I came here to the Marauder again because I wanted to get a little bit more life, and I bought the Forbidden Flesh and Flame for Brutal Fervor. I wanted to see if this would make me kind of immune to most of the DOTs, but it turns out it's not as much, right? I mean, it's good amount of recovery. It's also 10% reduced damage taken, so it's decent. It will probably feel better in the Uber fights because of the Ring of the Accuser. So you hit the monsters, you're leeching, you're over leeching on them, and then you have that regen going on. So I have one here and the other one it's here. These are going for like okay, this macro doesn't really. Let's remove the foil. So this is 9 divines, and this is like 14 when I bought it. Okay, it's more expensive now, imagine. So I got this. I haven't even tried this on the Uber fights. I did the Uber fights without this, and but I wanted to give it a try, and it's something that could be interesting, but something that probably the character doesn't even need anymore because of some changes I did to the resistance setup to the character. I had to get this point to be able to plug and play the ring. Otherwise, I would have been like 77 instead of 78 on lightning. And the rest is pretty much the same. I didn't change too much here. Added some tattoos for life regen for some recovery. Increase physical damage tattoos here. This little point for chance to fortify, to add a little bit of extra fortify chance to eviscerate, because eviscerate hits so hard that you will 100% get fortify sometimes, especially in big packs. And another thing about it is that sometimes if you're doing like tier 16 and the monsters don't really have like high HP or high defensive modifiers, eviscerate will one-shot the monsters, making it so you don't even get the bleed explosions anymore. That's very interesting. And okay, let's go for path building 1 second. So this is Uber damage. So 3.4 million DPS on Uber with spell suppression cap, with life gain on block. The build is very comfortable to play. it's somewhat uncomfortable, to be honest, in the fights, especially when you're waiting for those blocks to come over in phases where the bosses don't really want to hit you. And you know, as you may have seen from Uber Cyrus, the degens can get a little bit scuffed sometimes. So, but overall, this was rather cheap to get to this point. Maybe if you remove the Forbidden Flesh and Flame, which are not really needed. The Light of Meaning was a little bit expensive, but it's because a lot of people are playing physical builds. So this is like 9 divines. The Storm Shroud is like 10 divines, so that's like 19, 20 divines. The Leap is like 1, and the Calandra's Touch, which arguably is not needed. And Rislathas I bought like at like 8 divines, but it's now like 1 divine. So for maybe 20, and you could argue that you don't really need the Storm Shroud. So for Pantheon mitigation, what I was doing before is use Brine King. You cannot be frozen. You get 50% reduce effect of shield on you, and for shock, you use Garukan. And then you come here and you craft shock. Reduce effect of chill and shock up to 40%. So if you roll the 40% with Garukan, you're immune to shock, and you can get like 5% chill, which is barely noticeable at all. So that's a way you can mitigate the ailments without using Storm Shroud. And then you, for Ignite, you just get it on a flask or something. But Ignites are not really a big deal unless you're doing like Expedition or the Elder Guardian. I think it's the Annihilate or something. I don't remember the name of the Guardian. There is one that is like fire based. Probably is this one, Slaver. And he puts like really big ignites, and he can kill you through ignite. But other than that, ignite is not really a huge issue. But you still have to deal with Brittle, Scorch, and Sap, which don't happen often, but happen a lot in Simulacrum or in Delirium maps, for instance. And some altars can give you the effect of getting Sap, and in the case of the Searing, in the Eater of Worlds, and the Searing Exarch can give you Scorch. So that's why, you know, the Storm Shroud is good. Then the Axe Craft is a little bit expensive, but tier 16, Jack the Axe can get you to tier 16 super easily. With for the life gain on block, you could get like a strength base instead of the evasion base that doesn't have suppression, and that will cost you maybe a divine, and it wouldn't be too hard to roll like one of these tower shields. This one already has it, and you can sometimes just drop them like that, and if you roll a little bit of life here, I don't have force, but it's not difficult to get just that mod. So you get that, you put some life into it, and then you're rocking. Jack the Axe also gives you a lot of regen, which is very nice. And you know, the rest of the gear is just self-crafted. You know, I don't have like crazy fractures because they're very expensive. This one I have it because I dropped it, but otherwise I wouldn't have bought it because it's insane. And also, this is not the highest base. If you look at only that fracture, tier 1 highest rolled. Okay, it's not giving me the option to look for the base. Okay, yeah, there we go, fractured. Yeah, it's 4 divines just for this item. So don't really feel the need for that. One very important bit of damage that you will notice here is the tincture. So that's why I don't like going block magic at all. And this is, keep in mind that this is uber damage, right? This is getting almost 1 million in uber damage. If you go for like regular boss damage, then the tincture gain is even more amazing. And also keep in mind that this is, 3 million. This is bleed DPS, right? So sometimes you'll hit the monster and the monster will teleport away from you if you're playing a melee build. If you have 100 million DPS on a melee build, you have a lot of seconds where you're not dealing damage at all. The bleed damage is almost always on the boss, so that's why it feels so good in my opinion. And yeah, this is kind of PLB warrior-ish because you don't really have the banner all the times, and you know the banner is a sizable chunk of damage. But in the phases where you can get a lot of hits on the enemy really fast on quick succession, you really want to get the banner, and it's a lot of damage. I'm almost always fortified, and I'm almost always leeching, and yeah, the rest of the things really, you know, pride. You should have maximum pride effects because you know you're fighting a boss. For single target, obviously you get rid of gratuitous violence. For I think both of these are kind of the same in my opinion. This is better if your damage is lower and you're doing a fight where the boss doesn't face a lot. For instance, Ether Worlds is, I think it's almost always increasing the counter. So at a certain point, you're actually gonna get the 100% more damage against Ether. But Maven faces and goes away from you. The Shaper sends you away. The Searing Exarch disappears from the arena. The Sirius just floats into the air and makes you go away. I don't know if this is like a global, like if you're in the same zone as the monster, you're still getting the bonus. I can't really tell honestly. So it is what it is. I think it's decent if you're lacking damage and if you know you're gonna be doing a long boss fight. For instance, fighting like a really chunky tier 17 monster might be good for this. But otherwise, I think Weapon Master is better because once the monster goes to 50% of life, then you're getting that much. So I opted to go for Weapon Master switch instead of War of Attrition. And yeah, there's not much that can be done. I haven't leveled to 100 because I died doing find the Uber bosses. I initially died to Uber at sea. So things that can kill this character, as you may have seen, the Exarch Bolts deal a lot of damage. The Ether World Tentacles Slam surprisingly deals enough damage to kill the character. I didn't really know that could hit that hard. Obviously, Shaper Slam will kill you. Uber Elder Slam will kill you. Either the Elder or the Shaper Slam can kill you if you don't block it. And I think the Shaper Slam is unblockable. The Elder Slam can be blocked, but if you don't block it, you're dead. Sirius Degen will kill you, but other than that, Sirius can't really kill you through anything else. Okay, in tier 18s has a lot of mods that tier 17s have a lot of mods that can kill you. So there's that. But other than that, you know, if you're doing like, oh, and the mods that you cannot do, absolutely. Let me show you this website that I'm doing to roll my maps. All PATHofexile regex. So you come here to map mods. So the regular modifiers, obviously you can't do Feast Reflect. You can with a little bit of a swap, but you know it's much of a hassle. You remove some points. Maybe you remove these life points. You remove like a point here and a mastery, and then through 4 points you get these points here, and then you get Avoid Reflect 60%, and then you take Yugul, the Pantheon, and then you're immune to Reflex. But you know, I don't like doing that, so I just don't roll Feast Reflect. You cannot roll minus max. You can if you're not doing an Atlas strategy that has these points over here that increase the effect of the map modifiers. Because with all of these here, that becomes like minus 20 maximum resistances, and suddenly you're taking insane amounts of damage, especially in tier 17. So I avoid this mod. No regen is annoying. You can do it, but it's annoying because it makes it so you have to both no regen and no leech, you have to use like a mana flask, so I don't like running them. And the less recovery, they made less recovery probably like a mod that no build can run, honestly, except for like maybe the agnostic or something. Because right now this affects life flask as well, so you cannot recover life through using a life flask. So this mod is a break. I don't run it and I probably won't run it in any builds for the rest of the league. You cannot run reduced chance to block, obviously, because you need to block to deal damage. And the monster physical damage reduction without increased modifiers is not too bad, 40%. But with, it's impossible. The monsters get like 90% phys reduction, so you know you're down to 10% of your damage. So if you look at POB here, and then you put 90% phys reduction, this is the damage you will be doing, even on non-bosses. So so in a tier 17 you will be fighting like yeah, monsters like this with 1 million damage instead of 11, and yeah, noticeable, especially if you get like a really tanky rare. So yeah, I don't run physical damage reduction. And less cooldown recovery rate, it's annoying, but you can weapon swap expert retaliation. That's why I have this white socket here, to get expert retaliation for less cooldown, especially for the less cooldown ultimatums. But other than that, I prefer to roll over. And then what you do with this is that you copy this into here. And what I do with the maps, I have this little tab where I roll my maps, and you paste the regex, and any map that is highlighted, it means that doesn't have any of those modes. And that's how I know, like at least for tier 16s, that's clean. I can run it. For tier 17s is a little bit, you still have to read some of them. I don't have one tier 17 at the moment, but mods that I absolutely don't like to run is the Mark for Death. Mark for Death is absolutely lethal. What happens with this mod is you kill a rare, and then you get a debuff that you cannot recover life at all, and you take 20% increased damage. So if you have, like, I have Blood Reach automation going on. It doesn't go in the hideout though. No, it doesn't. But basically, my Blood Reach is always going on. Blood Reach degens you. So basically, when you have this debuff, Blood Rage starts killing you, and you have to wait for like 10 seconds for it to go away. Extremely annoying. You can still run the map, but what you have to do is you kill a rare pack, and then you wait for 10 seconds. So you take like 20 minutes to clear the map. I don't like it. If you don't have like full element avoidance, you probably should get rid of some of these element modifiers. Then the other one that I don't run is, of course, cannot block or suppress, because that's, you know, if you can't block, you can do damage. The less recovery on tier 17s is worse. It's even worse. Awakener's Desolation, it's very annoying because you get minus Fire X. It's not absolutely lethal, but if you're not paying attention and if the map is very packed, you may stand on it for longer than you expect, and suddenly you die from it. Obviously, Physical Reflect, and there was another one here that was very, very unfun. This one, players and their minions deal no damage for 4 out of 10 seconds. So get rid of that, definitely. Monsters chance to block. This gives them like 90% chance to block, which means on regular mobs is not a big deal, but on the boss it can mean that you probably can't kill it, or the block you can respec to these points, and then there's a mastery here that says that monsters cannot block your attacks, and you can run those. So, you know, for tier 18s, tier 17s, you're already spending a lot of chaos rolling. So if you get that mod, just respect to that one. Of course, reflex is not as a non-negotiable. Then Grasping Binds is more annoying than dangerous. Oh, and the less defenses one is pretty much lethal. Because less defenses means that... see if I can get the map modifiers here. Map... Yes. Yes. Map. You can actually calculate it here how much you can get out of it. So in a tree like this that I'm running for, this is the one I use for T17s, which has all the effects. If I go here to effect, 62% and 3% per map quality and 2% per explicit. So if it's 8 mods, that's 16% from this one, and then 3 times, so 3 per 5, that is 4 times, that's 12% as well. So 16 plus 12 is 28% plus 62. Maths is hard. 28 plus 62, that's 90% increase effect of modifiers. Put that here, 90% increase effect, and then you get enemy phase reduction. Oh, it didn't. It doesn't factor it. Yeah, I don't know what this does, honestly. I think it would have seemed like it would have calculated for you, but anyway, maybe I don't know how to use it. Droning orbs. For droning orbs, switch to Frostblink, and then you can run it. So for currency, I have 37 divines at the moment after buying the divine flesh and flame, and I have a power rune here which is like 3 divines and other stuff that I could sell for more currency. I made a lot of currency with this character, mostly running tier 17s. With the challenges, I did this, which is kill all of the uber bosses except for the this is the uber shape, uber elder, and the maven. And this one is doing all the tier 17s with 250% item quantity. And yeah, I think those are like the hard challenges of the league. These are more about, you know, just avoiding stuff. And the number of tier 17s I have completed at the moment is 34 for once. And what I was doing for currencies in Scribe ultimatums, this build can laugh at tier 17's ultimatums. And sometimes with ultimatums you get, I don't have one now, but you will get one here that is like sacrifice 4 divines to get 4 divines back, and you can run those. You buy them for 3 divines, and then you do that, you gain 5 divines back. So you're basically making 1 divine in like it takes like 5 to 10 minutes to run it. So if you already have them and you want to make some quick currency on a character like this, Inscribe ultimatums is the way to go. Just be careful with the mods. And yeah, already a pretty long video, but I wanted to cover most of the things about the update to get to the character, like the last things. I'm gonna include this POV. Again, this thing is not needed. I might even remove it from the character and just sell it, because you know, at this point, unless I play a Slayer later, and then I can grab Impact, Masterful, Pain, and Headsman, and then it's very worth it. But other than that, that's it. This was probably the best. It's definitely most likely the best character I've played in like 2 or 3 years. It's close to like the armor stacker I played back in the day with Scion, almost, you know, almost impervious to damage. Doesn't really die that much. I died a lot doing, you know, testing stuff, but you know, still to doing tier 17s, to doing all over bosses. I think it's pretty good. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you've been following this character's guide, and I am already leveling the next one, and it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna use one of the new crafted mods. It's gonna start off expensive because of that, but I think it shows promise. So, you know, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.